Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to I think episode 3 of the rebuild series. I've got a couple of plans today, as you can see behind me in the car. I got an engine mount basically of my father-in-law, so thank you for that. I've got a timing tool, I've got a new couple of extra bits, and we're gonna use that to put the engine on the stand, on the engine mount, and take off the head, disassemble the engine piece by piece and look at the damage, which is obviously, like I said before, purely out of curiosity, because I don't think a lot can be saved on that engine, but we'll have to see. That's why I got everything, so I can have a proper look at it. And yeah, very excited actually to see and disassemble the engine, because I'm really curious what exactly happened and how big the damage will be. As you noticed, or as you're probably gonna notice, everything's a bit different. I've had a lot of feedback on my first 2 episodes, and I thank everyone for that. It seemed like a lot of you guys enjoyed the episodes and the format I'm starting here, so I'm really stoked to create even more content for you guys, and I hope to get feedback and your input every time, because it really helps me improve video making basically. One of the things you're going to notice is I'm shooting this in a different picture profile. Basically I tried to shoot in a cinematic type picture profile before, which it records everything quite with low contrast, and then later in the editing software you can get that back and obviously color grade your footage, blah blah blah. But even though I thought it would be fairly doable, I don't think it really is. I don't really like how the colors and the shading and everything came out in the first 2 episodes. It took me a lot of time to get the color grading right. Not something I am experienced at doing. I'm not a cinematographer, I'm not a videographer. I don't know any of that, so I'm just recording in a normal Sony picture profile now. So everything's just gonna be a bit more clear, more logical, more bright, whatever. So yeah, the car is still there. I'm gonna turn you around in a second, and we're gonna have to do some cleanup first. Remove some stuff here and there to make space for the engine mount, and then we're gonna put the engine on the mount and go from there. Alright, so as you can see here, it's not really a mess, everything's organized, but there's a lot of stuff laying around here. There's the bare engine. Here are all the auxiliary parts. Basically I took off the engine, gearbox, turbo, blah blah blah. There's another pallet there with all the coolant hoses and the radiator and stuff. I kept that separate, so nothing leaks across each other and all that stuff. Yeah, we're gonna clean this up, put this in the storage into a unit there. Then we're gonna mount the engine stand somewhere here. Gonna use the engine lift to get it onto the mount, because obviously I can't do that myself, it's way too heavy. Yeah, I hope I can fixate it somewhere. I'm not quite sure. I might have to take off some stuff here and there. And yeah, we'll then take the engine apart. I've got a timing tool, a Renault timing tool, which I bought off my friend Daniel, who also lent me his lift, so shout out to Daniel. And we're going to check the timing on the engine actually, because obviously the valve dropped. I just want to know if somehow maybe it just went off timing or something like that. When we cranked the engine in the car, the cams were still turning, so it seems like it's on, but you never know, it's maybe jumped 1 or 2 teeth out. So yeah, we're going to check that for sure. And yeah, I'm just gonna quickly make some room, put some stuff together, pack it away up there, and then we're gonna go and put the engine onto the mount. Right, it's time for me to take my jacket off. It's probably gonna get dirty along the way. My girlfriend's gonna kill me if this jacket gets any dirt on it. So, that's the engine hanging. Gonna build the engine mount about here, so I can just adjust it instantly, put it on the gearbox side here, because then we can obviously still turn the crank when the engine's up in the air. So yeah, let me get that engine mount up and see where I'm gonna attach it, because I'm not quite sure yet how that's gonna work. I've never worked with an engine mount before. It shouldn't be too difficult though, I guess. Yeah, we'll just get it on and see where we go. I also got more organizers for all the engine parts and bolts, head bolts probably, all that stuff. And of course, to put under the engine mount, another tray to another engine tray to take care of any oil that's going to be dripping out of the engine when disassembling it. I'm going to be turning the engine as well, so there's obviously going to be some spillage, so that's always good to have. You don't want to spill any of this on your concrete ground. You've got to leave stains, bad for the environment, you know the drill. Alright, so basically the idea is we have these adjustable arms here. We have this adjustable thing here that just, you know, prevents it from rolling. And then the idea is that we've got some gearbox mounting holes here. We're going to utilize those, all 4 of them if I can. This is a bit of an awkward angle. I think I'm going to take out this stud, if you can see that, I'm not sure. I'm gonna take out the stud and then gonna utilize 4 holes here to give it a proper fit, proper mount. Yeah, let's see if that works. Like I said, I've never worked with one of these before, but it should be simple enough really. Man, doing this alone is a lot more awkward than I thought it would be. Yeah, I have to figure this out. See, the car's leaking again, engine coolant and all that stuff. Very annoying. I'm gonna have to go down with the lift. Should be enough. Alright, so whatever the fuck I'm doing here, it's not going to work. Obviously this thing is at an angle, this thing isn't. I'm just being impatient and stupid right now, so I'm gonna relocate all of this onto even ground. I'm gonna make the engine hang horizontally so I can actually put this mount on, and then I'll start over, because obviously this isn't working. I'm just being stupid now, I'm impatient. So let's take a breather and then we go again. Alright, so relocate this to 90 degrees. They're both at the same angle now. The engine is hanging a bit more horizontally. So I could actually already get this bolt in. When this one's in, it's just a question of adjusting this arm for the next one to go in. So we're going to tighten this one up. And now I can just, probably going to use this one. So the weight distribution is kind of even in a cross pattern. I think that would make sense, at least, but I'm not quite sure yet. Problem is I can only mount to like a couple of holes here. We want to take the oil pan off, but obviously here I'm already in the oil pan, so it's going to be a bit difficult. But just to get it up here now, it's fine. Let's see which one of the arms I will take for this. If I could get this bolt right here, that'd be perfect. Maybe here, but it seems like a bit of an awkward angle to get it into. I'll try though, I guess. See, they aren't really long, these bolts. Okay, so I've got them bolted down here to the oil pan. I've put in a stud that comes off the gearbox. I put it here. And why I did that is because obviously on the stud, the stud's long enough for this, so I can tighten this one up a little bit. So there's an extra support here. So I have an extra support up here as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten this nut to pull the engine towards me. As you can see, it's now moving towards me. And just before I'm full lock, I'm going to tighten the stud again. So the stud actually has enough threads in the engine where it sits snug. Then when the stud goes back in a couple of bits, I'm going to take and bolt the nut again. I'm going to go repeat that for a little bit. This should be fine. Now I can tighten this, and the nut as well as the stud in the engine both have enough thread to support the weight. And I think I'm gonna check everything double if everything's actually tight. I think that should be the engine mounted to the engine mount. I hope at least. So obviously when pulling on one side, you're gonna kind of loosen the other side again, so you have to cross thread and check everything twice. Because now that I've tightened the other side here, this one's going to come loose a bit again. It's tight now. Right, so after a lot of hassle and a lot of annoyance, the engine is now on. I'm going to slowly release the crane now and see how this stands up. Because obviously looking at a weight distribution here, this is kind of awkward, but I've seen this done before like this, so I hope this works. Right, so moment of truth, I'm going to slowly drop this and just hope that this holds onto itself. Alright, so far so good. Yeah, it looks like it's hanging on the engine mount now. So technically now I should be able to, yeah, there we go. It's also gonna have to mount these up next. Now that they're in position, I can tighten these up so they're not under any tension, and then yeah. Now, what I would love, and I hope you're seeing this arm is not on anything yet, so I'm probably gonna get a, I think this is M10, might be M10, long bolt, and then pull this through here, so we're actually on all 4 points, engine's mounted, can't fall off. Right, yeah, the engine's on the stand, can't believe it's actually on there and it's solid, it seems. Gonna clean the lift up, gonna put that away somewhere where it doesn't bother me. Gonna put this here, and then we're gonna have a look at the head, engine head, and yeah, I guess we start disassembling from there on. Hello everyone, welcome to day 2, or the next day, whatever you want to call it. You saw me get the engine up on the jack stand. Now we're taking the head off, looking at the damage. Yeah, we're gonna basically detach everything one by one. I've got a timing tool as well here, so we can check if the timing was still on. And yeah, from here on we just go and see how badly damaged the engine will be in the end. I think I'll do it just like before. I'll make a lot of cuts, probably time lapse it. There's some background noise going on as well, so I want to keep that to a minimum. And really it's just piece by piece, taking everything off. I'm going to put the camera up high so you can watch it from above and see everything I'm doing. I haven't taken off that many heads myself, so I guess I'll just try to remember the process, go along the way. And then yeah, I'm very curious to see how badly damaged the piston is once we take the head off. Right, so I've put you basically on a over my shoulder view. I thought it would be the best way to look at everything at once. I'm going to take out the spark plugs as well as the coil packs, which are already loose because I checked these obviously. I'm going to take those out, if they're not already out, I think they are. And then we're going to basically get off everything from for the timing, see if the timing's still on. And we can take off the cover here. Look at the camshafts, take out all that, and then loosen the head bolts, get the engine off. I've prepared a small pallet here to put everything on later. So yeah, let's just go ahead. So as you can see, the engine still turns, so it's not really locked, and as long as you are within range of the two valves that still work, there's even some compression still, some resistance, but obviously this is, yeah, not very good. So, as you can see here, let's take the cam cover off. These are the cams. They, I think it's very hard to show on video, but there's a little bit of wear in them, like where you can see that they, obviously, I mean, it's a mechanical part, so it's gonna wear out at some point. But it doesn't look like they're fully engraved, so it doesn't look like they took any damage. I can't see any big damage on them, so there's like no tears, cuts, or rees, or whatever you want to call it. Seems like they are still a-okay-ish, so that's good. Yeah, obviously this is the cylinder here where the big damage was, so yeah, I'm gonna have to gonna take the cams off, and then we can get to the head bolts underneath. Yeah, that's for the progress so far. So I'll gotta put you guys back up, and I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Holy shit! Ugh. So there's the head and the valves. Here you can see the valve that dropped, and this is whatever there is left of that. The other ones look good, to be fair. I mean, it's not like they're broken. Some metal shavings that flew around, obviously, but yeah. And so now up to the block itself. I'm gonna make this a bit of light. So yeah, this one, not too good, not too good, and then we go bam. Holy shit, look at that. I'm gonna get a light actually. Here we go. Yeah, that is some terminal damage if I've ever seen one. The valve is actually still intact, it's just on top of the piston. Yeah, that's some damage. See here, it's in the walls, all really scraped up as well. Yeah. So yeah, that's focus. Yeah. So yeah, that's the as far as the engine damage goes. That is really bad. So I'm gonna get a entire new engine. The head's dead, the block's dead, so I'm gonna have to get a new one. Gonna have a look at the crankshaft though to see if that's damaged. Yeah. I mean, look at this. Wow. Absolutely insane. That valve just dropped and then it just absolutely ravaged in there. Crazy. Yeah. So let me put you back here. Right, so yeah, I guess that's that for this. I'm gonna turn the block around. I want to get the oil pan off, but we have to take it off first. I'm gonna let that drip out for a while, and I'm gonna put everything on a pallet, put it together. I'm gonna leave all the auxiliary parts on, because when I get a new engine I can see what I can just transfer over, what bolts am I missing, you know, all that stuff, so we get a clear view of that. Yeah, so let's just get a bit of a cleanup going, do some rest work, and then yeah, I guess it's time to source a new engine. Right, so I've put the so you just saw I put the tractor with a pallet underneath the engine stand. I'm gonna detach the block now, because I want to get the sump off, but I can't get the sump off as long as the engine is mounted to it. So I will this pallet will stay underneath, and then we will take off the sump when the engine mount is loose. Take off these two for the drive shaft, one of the holders and one of the carriers for the subframe mount, and then we have pretty much everything bare. And I'm gonna have a look at the crankshaft, see if that's badly damaged, because like I said before, the oil itself is pretty clean, which is kind of weird considering the damage, but yeah, I don't know, I guess just go with the flow. So that's the oil pan off, the oil pump off, which has, let me focus on here real quick. If it focuses, I hope you can see, I will show you later anyway. Big lumps of piston, I guess, here and before the filter everywhere. So yeah, that's all dead and it's going to have to be replaced. I will now, I guess I'll take off the rod bearings. Then the pistons can just drop onto here, doesn't matter. And the crankshaft itself, I don't know, I have another block, so I basically don't really need it, but I want to see how badly damaged this is really, if there's any damage at all to this. Obviously all these parts running around in here is not very good for the crankshaft or the rod bearings, so I'll have a look at those. And then that's pretty much the engine all detached. Got some oil sprayers underneath there. I suspect at least the one that has all the piston damage in it will be fucked. So yeah, let's just go. Hello everyone. Yeah, the last thing you saw was probably me getting the last parts of the engine, the crankshaft as well. But I couldn't quite get it all out of the engine, so I decided to clean up a little bit because it was getting late, and I've been working for a couple of hours now. It's also Sunday, so I want to close the day off. I've packed everything into a pallet here, as you can see, all the parts that came out of the engine. Here's the broken piston, camshafts. I've labeled all the bolts, put them in here as well. Yeah, there's not really a plan at the moment. I'm just cleaning everything up, because the next thing we gotta do is get the car on the trailer, I think, and prepare it for the welded cage. I'm also gonna source a new engine. Obviously, I found a lot of upgrade parts online, like SuperTech valves and max speeding rods, rods. I'm gonna keep the original cams and all that stuff, so we gotta source all the parts bit by bit now over the next couple of months, maybe year. So yeah. Yeah, next episode's probably gonna be getting the last parts of the engine, like the crankshaft, getting it out. I didn't have the right tool now to get it out, and then also me getting the car on the trailer and preparing it for the welded cage, getting interior out, the dashboard, the heater unit, all that stuff. So yeah, excited for that. I hope to see you in the next episode. Goodbye.